All right, folks, the fastest 2 hours in radio, one of the most exciting programs you'll ever listen to because we're always on the cutting edge, especially when I've got Mike Shoesmith on. We always talk about things that you will not hear on any other conservative talk radio program. You will not hear on the news tonight, even if you switch over to Fox. You're not going to hear it on Sean Hannity or Rush Limbaugh or Bill O'Reilly. But on Freedom Friday, you hear stuff that is cutting edge, prophetic at times. Sometimes we talk about things a year before they happen, but we told you they were going to happen. Now, we don't claim to be prophets or anything, but we just stay on top of things. Am I speaking the truth, Mike Shoesmith?
Hey, it's March 1st, everybody. It's Sequestration Day. It's March 1st. March may be an amazing month.
You know, Mike,
remember a few weeks ago I talked to you about the fly situation with the Lord of the Flies himself, Barack Obama, right?
Yep.
And how the flies were a plague sent from God. In fact, it says that God said to Pharaoh through Moses, "If you don't let my people go, I'm going to send flies upon you." And then we documented how the president has had flies, upon him.
Yeah, and we've got pictures of him with flies on his face and forehead on multiple occasions. We've posted the pictures on you've posted them on PP Simmons.
Yeah, and so now we have March the 20th, we have the Anointed One going to Israel finally, and he will be going there on March 20th. Now, March the 20th happens to be International Frog Day.
Yeah.
And frogs were also a judgment from God in the book of Exodus upon Pharaoh. But
Mike, let me also say, not only that, but they're pronounced as demons, as visions of demons, pictures of demons in the book of Revelation that are attached to the days of the Antichrist. That's in the book of Revelation.
I'm building up to something here.
I know you are.
And by the time this 15 minutes is over, I promise the listeners you will be amazed.
And I know where you're going.
Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. We've got a delay between your phone and mine, so I'm not trying to step on you. I'm so sorry. I'm just trying to have a conversation. But I know where you're going with this, but since we've got this delay, I'm going to shut up and just let you present it, okay? So go for it.
Well, I'm sorry about that. I'm on my cell phone up here in Canada, and it's tough to hit the floor of the coast down there with my cell phone. We're going to have to pull the string a little tighter here, but the reference you just made is Revelation 16:13, where it talks about 3 unclean spirits like frogs came out of the mouth of the dragon, the beast, and the mouth of the false prophet. And here, March is man, I don't even know where to begin here, honestly. I thought I had it all together, but, we have the resignation of the Pope. By March the 20th, we will have a new Pope, right?
Right.
And we had a guest on the show, Chris Putnam, last week, who predicted years ago that this Pope, Ratzinger, would resign.
Yep.
And a new Pope would rise. This new Pope would be the false prophet.
Yep.
And here we have the false prophet is related to the demon frog spirit. We have the mouth of the beast relates to the demon frog spirit, and then we have the mouth of the dragon. Now, perhaps China might chime in on this too. The dragon being the animal symbol for China.
Well, Mike, Mike,
we're going to ramp. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, do this, and you're probably headed there anyway, but tell the people about all the connections to Obama and Israel. And before you do, let me just say this. Folks, this is the first time that Obama will go to Israel since his election. In 5 years, he has not set foot in Israel, but he's going on March the 20th. So, Mike, tell everybody about March the 20th and all of the amazing connections to March the 20th and Obama and Jerusalem.
Yeah, a friend of ours pointed this out to us. A doctor friend of ours. What was his name again?
Dr. Gavin Finley. He's a dear friend of mine. EndTimePilgrim.org is his website. He's been on this show several times. He's a medical doctor, but he's also a great student of the Bible. He pointed out to us what Mike's getting ready to tell you. Mike and I made it into a video. It's gone viral. It's been picked up by international news agencies, internet news around the world. It is amazing what Mike Shoesmith's getting ready to tell you. Go ahead, Mike. Mike.
Yeah, he pointed this out to you, and then you were busy writing writing the
W&D new book.
You outlined what you're up to these days, and you're busy doing that. And so you said this to me. You said, Mike, I don't know if there's anything to this. Check this out. I looked into it. I thought, no, that can't be right. Yeah. There's no way that's right.
I know it can't be. It can't be. It's just too amazing. But anyway, go ahead. We're teasing everybody.
I know, and I kind of brushed it off, because it just seemed like there's no way that could possibly be so accurately fulfilled.
It can't be. Mike, listen, Mike. Here, let's do this. We've got everybody teased. We've got them primed. We've got them pumped. So what I want to do, Mike, is I want to take a break. And then when we come back, because nobody's going to leave, and I want everybody to hear our advertising. I want them to hear our sponsors, because when we come back, I'm going to turn you loose for the next 20 minutes, and I want you to tell people what we discovered and what is happening that is biblically prophetic and monumental, or either one of the freakiest coincidences in the history of the world.
You'll be amazed, people. Don't go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. So, Mike, let me set it up. So, March the 20th, Obama, for the first time in his presidency, is going to Israel. It happens to be World Frog Day. We've already established that biblical connection there with frogs being a plague and demonic. But don't turn your radio off, folks, because that's not the big deal about this. That's just a little side, little wink, kind of tongue-in-cheek. Well, look at that, going on Frog Day. But that's not the big deal. Mike, tell us the rest of the big deal about Obama going on March the 20th to Israel and Jerusalem.
Well, listen, you sent me a blast and said, look, it looks like this friend of mine is hinting that Barack Obama is going to be in Jerusalem on the same day that Jesus rode into Jerusalem on the donkey.
Yep.
And I looked at it and I thought, well, that's the 20th. Palm Sunday is on the 24th. So that can't be right.
Yeah.
But then something in me just wouldn't let it go. So I went to my Hebrew calendar, and I was absolutely. It's amazing I didn't drive off the road. Honest to God.
Yeah.
Because March the 20th is Nisan the 9th, according to the Hebrew calendar. 9th, 10th.
Right.
By the way, they do their calendar reckoning.
Right.
March the 20th is the 9th, 10th. Of Nisan, according to their calendar. Jesus rode into Jerusalem, called the triumphal entry, on Nisan the 9th.
Right.
This is amazing. Barack Obama has, by choice or remarkable coincidence, is going to be riding into Jerusalem on a donkey on Nisan the 9th, the same day Jesus Christ rode into Jerusalem. Now, I say on a donkey. What is the animal symbol for the Democrat Party? A donkey.
That's right.
I mean, this is so amazing.
And it doesn't even end there. But I mean, this is amazing. Go ahead.
Yes, and I mean that on those particular days. To have Barack Obama enter. Now, WND is reporting that he will go to the Temple Mount, by the way, and Hamas is warning, you better not do that. And there are people who are saying that Barack Obama, they're looking for this Antichrist figure to be shot and wounded in the head and healed. I haven't bought into that completely myself, but now Hamas is saying, look, if you go to the Temple Mount, you'll regret it.
Right.
And so we're looking for now. This is really is a wait and see game. But there are a few things that we know for sure, and that is that Barack Obama and his handlers have chosen to go into Jerusalem the same day Jesus went into Jerusalem.
Right. Now let me stop, Mike, and just say to folks, either that is one huge freaky coincidence. And as a born-again believer and Bible believer and understanding that God is on his throne, I don't put much credence in coincidences, especially so many that surround this man. But it's either one big freaky coincidence or it's a deeply spiritual message that's, that God is kind of showing us and warning us. Or Barack Obama and his handlers purposely sat around and figured this out to freak Christians out and to mess with Christians' minds, because the comparison is so striking and so obvious. And if that's the case, then that speaks of pure evil. So I can't think of another possibility. Can you, Mike?
Well, I mean, the only other thing I can think of is that Bible prophecy is coming true.
Well, yeah, that's the spiritual side. That would be the spiritual side I talked about. Yeah.
Yeah, right, exactly. I mean, here we have people predicting certain events to happen this March. Here we are witnessing them all coming together. There are many dynamics here coming together. It seems to all be happening this March. I mean, there's a guy that we went and looked at his material because 2 years ago, or actually in 2005, so it was Chris Putnam who predicted that the Pope would resign, or he documented evidence which showed that the Pope would resign in April of 2012. And that's actually when the Pope made his decision to resign, by the way.
Right.
And would leave office. And now, so in the middle of March, we will have a new Pope. And then the President of the United States choosing to ride into Jerusalem the same day that Jesus Christ himself rode into Jerusalem. But listen, in 2005, there's a guy out there, his name is Dewey. He's a Bible scholar. He's not some leader of a cult like Harold Camping was. This guy predicted in 2005, using the feasts in the Bible and the days and whatnot, he predicted that March of 2013, March the 20th, 2013, would be what we call the mid-trib event, is when the Antichrist would be revealed. And now, he predicted this back in 2005 already. And I looked over his material. He's got 2 hours of teaching on this. And it's dry, it's tough to get through. But essentially, he's saying, yeah, he's a date setter. And yeah, Jesus did say no one knows the day or the hour. So, yeah, we're not going to promote this guy's material necessarily. We're not going to, we're not going to say, yes, this is it.
Right.
However, there's a lot of thinkers out there, a lot of people who study this stuff, who live in this world, who are all coming together and saying March is a month to look for, is a month to be aware of what's going on in the world, and we're excited. We're going to be talking about this. And when all the dust settles, this really is for P.P. Simmons and for Carl Gallups. It's a wait and see dynamic right now.
Yeah.
We're just going to analyze everything. When the dust settles, we're going to report to you the findings.
Right.
We are not the people who are making these predictions. We're just reporting on the predictions, and hopefully to get you guys excited that, Jesus' return is closer now than it's ever been.
Right. And, Mike, thank you for saying that, because Mike Shoesmith and I and Mallory Bardwell and here at WEBY, we are not proclaiming that Obama's the Antichrist. We are not setting dates. We're not making any predictions or prophecies on this. We're just reporting what's happening and or what other people who claim to be experts are saying is happening. It is a fact he's going to Jerusalem on March the 20th. It's a fact that corresponds with the day on which Jesus rode into Jerusalem 2,000 years ago in the triumphal entry. It's a fact that Jesus rode in on a donkey. It's a fact, kind of tongue-in-cheek, but it's a fact that Obama's going to, quote, ride in on a donkey. He's representing the Democrat Party. Those are just facts. And it's a fact that in Exodus chapter 12, the people of Israel were instructed to choose their lamb on that day in the month of Nisan. And it's a fact that when Jesus rode into Jerusalem that day, they chose their lamb and proclaimed him Messiah and the Son of David. That's a fact. There are people in the world who think that Obama is the Messiah. Jamie Foxx says he's the Lord and Savior. Jamie Foxx says he's God. Louis Farrakhan says when Obama speaks, you're listening to the Messiah speak. Now, these are facts. Mike and I are not saying we believe Obama is some kind of Messiah. We certainly not are claiming yet that he's the Antichrist, but we're just reporting the facts. Thank you for doing that, Mike. And you're only going to hear that here, but when you hear it here and you see these things unfold, then just remember, you heard it here on Freedom Friday. And folks, don't forget this. Now, just some more stuff that's interesting to think about. Remember, the Secret Service has named the vehicle that Obama rides in, the bulletproof vehicle, his official limousine. Probably they will take that to Israel because they usually fly his vehicles over, especially because they're so secure. They've nicknamed it, the folks, listen to this now, the Secret Service nicknamed it the Beast. And remember, Obama's nickname with the Secret Service is the Renegade, or the Lawless One. I mean, that goes all the way back to 2008 when he took office, or 2009. I mean, we reported on that back then. So think of this. Barack Obama, the lawless one, is going to perhaps be riding the beast, entering into Jerusalem on the back of a, quote, Democrat donkey, on the same day that Jesus rode into Jerusalem and the crowds hailed him as Messiah.